Hi there, welcome to our DSPS non-credit info session held on Thursday, August 6, 2020 from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. My name is Jennifer Flores. I will be talking to you today about what DSPS is here at Pasadena City College. So what is DSPS? So DSPS is the Disabled Student Programs and Services office, and what we do is we assist students with documented disabilities to gain access to all of the college's programs and services, and we do this by prescribing appropriate and reasonable accommodation based on students' individual needs and diagnosis. A quick overview of DSPS and what we do is, as I mentioned before, we provide support to students by prescribing them accommodations based on their diagnosis and, again, their individual needs. As a student registered with our program, you will be assigned a DSPS counselor or a teacher specialist. So somebody that can work with you one-on-one to update your accommodations and go through that process with you. We offer a variety of accommodations and services, which I will get into in the next slide. We also do educational advisement for credit and non-credit classes. We can serve as a liaison with your instructor and other on-campus departments. So for example, if you needed assistance talking to your professor regarding your accommodations, we can help to facilitate that conversation. And our overall mission and goal is to help you gain equal access to all the programs and services that we have on campus. And it's important to note too that our services are completely voluntary. It is not mandatory for you to join our program. If you had an IEP in high school and you were going through that process, then it's a different process once you come to college. So it's your decision if you want to join our program or not. If you do not join our program, unfortunately, you will not be eligible for accommodations. But if you do join our program and you do have a verified and documented disability, then we can go ahead with that process of prescribing accommodations based on your needs. So some of the typical accommodations that we provide is, number one, you will receive priority registration. So what that means is you get access to sign up for classes earlier than other groups of students. And the reason for this is because, one example would be if a student is taking medication and they get drowsy in the morning or in the evening, they may need afternoon classes. Or if we were on campus again and you needed additional time to get from one side of the campus to the other side of the campus, then you might want to set up your class schedule that way as well. So that's one thing. So being able to register for your classes earlier than other students. We do offer specialized counseling. So as the DSPS counselors and teacher specialists, we do have documentation of your disability. So we are mindful of that when guiding you towards what classes to take. And we also have our own DSPS academic counselor, and she can do academic planning with you, comprehensive ed plans for the credit side. And then I also do the non-credit academic counseling. So if you're taking any non-credit classes, I can help you with that as well. As I mentioned before, we have the individualized accommodations and services. So accommodations for one student will be different for another student. Everybody gets something a little different because everybody has different needs and disabilities. We also offer assistive technology and alternate media. So some assistive technology that we offer for students would be, for example, training for Otter. Otter is an app that can audio record and transcribe any notes. We also have Kurzweil, and we have screen readers and Dragon. So all of these different technologies that you might be eligible for. And also for alternate media, we offer, if a student needs something in Braille, or if they need enlarged text, or even audiobooks. And the great thing is that we have an assistive technology specialist, and he will work with you one-on-one to do all of these extensive trainings, and he would be your main point of contact for that. We also have deaf and hard of hearing services. So we have American Sign Language interpreters if you're eligible for that. And we also have live captioning, live captionists. So somebody would be live captioning your class for you if you do qualify for this. Another popular accommodation is extension of time. So getting extra time on any of your exams or quizzes that you're taking. Some students are eligible for more time than others, again, depending on each student's need. But any tests or exams that you have, you would get that extra time. We also have note-taking accommodations. So it may be through having somebody in the class take notes for you, and it would be anonymous, so the student taking the notes wouldn't know that it's for you. Typically what we use when we are on campus is carbon copy paper, and the student can write their notes and then tear the sheet apart, and then there is a copy of the notes. And they can leave that with the instructor, and then you can pick that up from them if we were in person. Virtually, maybe the student can take notes, your classmate can take notes by typing them and then email them to the instructor, and then those can get forwarded to you. But in addition to that, you can also audio record as a method of note taking to kind of get that information. You can take screenshots of the board. Again, if you're eligible, these are just some of the accommodations, but it depends what you're prescribed. But also taking screenshots of the board, again, using Otter to audio record your lectures. So different types of note-taking accommodations. Another one is preferential seating. So if we were in person, then you would be able to sit in the classroom where you most feel comfortable. So for example, maybe you focus better in the front of the class, or maybe you prefer to sit in the back of the class or closest to the door. That would be another accommodation. Liaison on campus with instructors and other departments. I mentioned this in the previous slide, but pretty much just what we can do is kind of help have those conversations with your instructors and other departments on campus if you're needing that assistance. And then we also have some success centers and some coaches on campus right now that we are working remotely and working from home. That looks a little bit differently, but we can kind of navigate that on a case-by-case basis. And then we typically have specialized tutoring. We have DSPS tutoring where you get an hour of tutoring versus at the other tutoring centers that are not DSPS, you typically only get maybe like 15 minutes to maybe half an hour at the most. And with us, you would get a one-on-one tutoring session with the specialized tutor. Right now, because we are working remotely, we don't have tutors at the moment, but we are trying to get that for you guys. So now more specifically, I'll just briefly talk about non-credit and DSPS. So if you are a student with DSPS, you are receiving accommodations and you can take any classes you want within the non-credit division or even on the credit side. Either way, if you are eligible for our program, you'll still get your accommodations. But if you're specifically interested in non-credit classes, which is the purpose of today's presentation, our non-credit classes are typically held at the Foothill campus when we are in person. But right now that we're working remotely, all of our classes are online. But pretty much what our classes are their basic skills courses. They're 0 units, so you won't receive any college credit if you're hoping to get a college degree. But all of our classes are free. And pretty much what you can do is, for example, we have adult high school diploma classes, we have GED classes, graphic design, we have DSPS classes, which I'll talk a little bit more about. We also have ESL classes to practice English. And then we also have business computer classes if you're wanting to brush up on your computer skills or learn some new computer skills. And a lot of these programs you can actually earn certificates from, which you can put on your resume or, show to employers or whatever you might want to do with that. So it's kind of nice because you can take these classes without the pressure of worrying about your GPA or worrying about financial aid. And then specifically for our DSPS non-credit classes, these non-credit classes are tailored for students with disabilities. We offer a variety of classes. We typically offer the work readiness class, which is 4 modules, and It talks about finding the job that's right for you. You kind of go over resume skills and kind of learning what your interests are in order to find a good fit for you. Interacting with interacting with coworkers and supervisors, and what your rights and responsibilities are in the workplace as an individual with as an individual with a disability. So that might mean, do I want to disclose my disability to my employer, and etc. So it talks about that. And then we also have a functional living class, which talks more about living independently. It focuses on safety in the community, hygiene, basic English and math skills like counting money or reading articles and things like that. And then we also offer the DSPS music class, which we typically at this time it's only being held in person, but it's not being held right now as of August 2020 because we are remote. But typically when it was held in person, and once it does resume in person, that class is again tailored for students with disabilities. And it's a hands-on music class and where you learn some of those skills. And then we also have a DSPS art class, which again is not being held at the moment because we are online. But once it does resume in person, that's just kind of like a fun art class to kind of have some hands-on art skills. From these classes, the only one that offers a certificate is the work readiness one. So after you take the 4 work readiness modules and you pass them, you will receive a certificate. And it's important to note that all of these DSPS non-credit classes are pass or no pass. So you don't have to worry about a grade. So that's the nice thing as well. The majority of our non-credit classes are pass or no pass, with the exception of some that do have letter grades. But again, because they are 0 units, they won't count against your GPA. And that's just kind of a brief overview of what DSPS is as a program itself, and then what some of our DSPS non-credit classes consist of. Again, you are more than welcome to take non-credit classes with us that are not DSPS classes. So for example, you can take a keyboarding class or an Excel class or a history class with us at non-credit and still be in the DSPS program. So you would still receive those accommodations like extra time on your exams if you're eligible. So what you would have to do is contact us. We would schedule an appointment. I am the main point of contact for DSPS non-credit, and the information is there. So if you're specifically wanting non-credit, the counseling office, just non-credit, or DSPS non-credit, you can give us a call at 626-585-3006. Or right now that we are working remotely, you can call us at 626-817-3532. As I mentioned before, my name is Jennifer Flores. I am the assigned DSPS counselor for the non-credit division. And you can contact me with those same phone numbers, or you can email me at jflores177@pasadena.edu. If you would like to contact just the general DSPS office, maybe you're taking credit classes and you do want accommodations for those classes, you can contact the DSPS office at the main campus, and their phone number is 626-585-7127. Or right now that we are working remotely, their number is 626-720-4497. You can email them at dsps@pasadena.edu. And we also have a DSPS Instagram, and the handle for that is PCC DSPS. All right, well, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon at PCC. Thank you.